And welcome back to Morning Talk. You're listening to KSVC 980 AM and 100.5 FM. Porter Huntsman and Dylan Nielsen alongside with you this morning, and it is time now for our radio roundup interview for today. This morning we were joined by Sevier School District Superintendent Kate Douglas, as well as Principal of Koosharem Elementary, Wes Torgersen, and we appreciate the two of you taking the time to join us this morning.
Yeah, we love to come in, so thanks for having us.
Well, good to be here.
Glad to have you on this morning. Now, Principal Torgersen, say when you talk about Koosharem Elementary School, I didn't even know that was in the Sevier School District, and so it sounds like we wanted to remedy that a little bit and tell us a little bit about the history and what you got going on over there.
Yeah, there's a long history dealing with that, too, clear back to early days of the Utah statehood, when it became a state. When they divided those county lines up, it was kind of controversial. And at that time, Koosharem itself was partly in Paiute County and partly in Sevier. And so there was a lot of rhetoric and a little controversy that went on, I guess, there. And they actually ended up, the Paiute and Sevier County line is just south of Koosharem, so it's actually in the Sevier School District.
All right.
So, yeah.
And so with that, how many students do you have that attend in that area? I know it's not the largest town in the state.
Right. So right now we've been hovering the last few years actually right around 30 students, and that's K through 6.
So it's a super unique educational experience and opportunity. It's one of the best schools in the state, in my opinion. It's fascinating how they teach the kids, because we're looking at 2.5 teachers. They have some instructional assistants. They have a cook and a secretary. They have amazing staff. But when you group the kids, you might have on any given year, I'll let Wes hit on it more, but on any given year, you might have 2 or 3 kindergartners, 5 first graders, 1 second grader, 6 third graders. So they pair them up, and it's amazing to watch how those teach. So Wes doesn't just teach 5th grade. Like, my first 4 years in education, I taught 4th grade. I taught generally 28 to 32 4th graders. Well, Wes teaches 3 grades at a time all day long. Right. It's pretty amazing. I mean, it's rocket science. You go over there and watch them do that, and it's fascinating to watch, and they do really well with the kids.
So what are some of the unique challenges of having so few students?
Well, that's and then spread across those 7 different grades is
right.
Probably the nature of the beast over there, I guess, is the way I'd call it. And I've described the school to people before who it's just kind of a foreign concept. It's like a charter school setting in public school, because we have so many cross grade classrooms like that. But anyways, and it's been that way since the beginning of Koosharem.
Right.
We've always had multiple grades in the same classroom, and we try to play on those strengths too. Obviously, there's some drawbacks to it, but this past year we actually had one of our teachers come up with an idea of a mentoring program where we take those older students and pair them up with younger students for reading instruction and reading practice. And it was great for those older students. They really owned it, and they did a great job too. And the younger students benefited because they were learning how to read. So anyway, that's probably the biggest challenge, is trying to cover so much, 2 or 3 different grade levels in teaching math. That's tough. That's probably the toughest thing. But there again, when I'm teaching an older class a lesson, whether it be in math or reading or whatever, those younger kids are sitting right there too. So it's like they're getting kind of a preview of upcoming attractions.
Right.
So
and
it works well.
It's pretty neat. Wes is a Koosharem Elementary product, and there are kind of a neat family tradition as well, because Wes's parents taught him. He's in the position now that his dad once was in. But there are Koosharem. The community of Koosharem is amazing, and the little elementary school there is definitely the hub of the community. They have some traditions of different programs and gatherings, and I love going over there. I love to go visit Koosharem Elementary. The kids are always so friendly, and it's a great community.
So out of curiosity, after they get done at Koosharem Elementary School, what's the next step? Do you have a middle school, high school in that area, or do they have to bus somewhere else?
So at one time, and this was early on when we started having schools there, they had up to the 10th grade at the school. But I think it was around the 1950s, they started busing them to either Paiute or Richfield, and that's what students do today. Students that come to Richfield, generally speaking, will come down for the 6th grade, starting in that middle school age. If they go to Paiute direction, they'll generally stay for 6th grade at Koosharem and then head down there. So, but yeah, there are buses that go both ways now.
So what are some of the challenges of going to get students with buses over to Koosharem every day? I mean, you got to get up early in the morning.
Ride. Yeah, I mentioned it. Kind of an interesting little Bermuda Triangle is what I call it. Just an interesting little area there where you've got Koosharem Elementary that is severe school district, and then not too far, but that's still a pretty good bus ride for a 6th grader. If they choose to go into Junction, I guess it's about the same distance.
I know exactly what it is. Yeah. Paiute direction is 42 miles, and then down here it's around 35, 36.
Yeah, so there are students I mentioned that go to Circleville Elementary, which is a little closer. And then you've got Garfield School District involved because of Anemone Elementary, and I know their population, their school age population is way down. I don't even know if they're just busing 1 or 2 students over to Circleville at this point. I can't remember the details, but it is interesting as the populations fluctuate, and that's why it's so nice to have Koosharem Elementary. That's a pretty long bus ride.
Right.
If you're a kindergartner or first kid, it's a long bus ride for anybody, but an older kid, middle school, high school age student can handle it a little easier than a little one.
Yeah.
So
appreciate what you do over there, and it's nice to learn a little bit more about it.
Yeah. We, as was mentioned earlier, we have some traditions over there. Every year we have a Halloween carnival. So if you want to come and find out a little bit more about it and see our gymnasium, I've had a lot of people come and see the beams that were put out. I think it's probably the oldest part of our building. Was constructed back in the early 1950s, and it's pretty cool still. With those great big beams that are up over there. So anyway, invite you over. We have a couple of other fun little traditions. Around Christmas time, we have a program there. Veterans program is a major program we put on, and then in the springtime we have a spring sing they're all fun little things that we invite you all to come over and see.
I know people in Koosharem will cuss me for this, but you really should go visit Koosharem if you haven't already.
Right now, it might be kind of a tough time. There's a lot of traffic.
Yeah, not like right this minute,
right?
Because there's something unique going on Highway 24 at the moment.
Yes,
but maybe in like a couple of months at a Halloween
Absolutely,
program.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's an amazing community, and that's what makes amazing schools. Is our amazing communities make up amazing schools.
All right, now, Superintendent, you did mention a couple more things you wanted to talk about just in general. We're just a few days away at this point from the start of school.
Yeah, we're welcoming our students back to school next Thursday. So Thursday the 14th is the first day of school. We're super excited. We pretty much are following our traditional schedule as we always do. I wanted to mention to parents and listeners that the only difference this year is we're having a 2-day fall break instead of a 3-day fall break. So kind of watch for that coming up in October. A lot of parents are asking, how come school's starting so early? Don't you generally start around, the 20th or at least the 18th? And we were talking a little bit about this before we went on the air. We always have to be done by Memorial Day. We're very committed in our district to being done by Memorial Day. So building the schedule back, kind of if Memorial Day falls a little earlier than we end up going earlier, and it's tricky the way the calendar falls. We don't want to. You can't come back from a break or start school on a Friday. It would be a bad idea. So just the way the calendar works its way out every year, trying to get in the 180 days that are required before Memorial Day. But we're excited to welcome kids back. We've had several awesome upgrades to our facilities. Remember, we bonded. We passed a bond election back in 2013, and those projects have all been completed for the most part. So we're on a new 10-year plan with our construction projects and upgrades. And these projects we've been able to handle for the most part with our own savings as we've worked through and just been as conservative as we can. But we're excited. We've got new locker rooms and seating and improved airflow systems at both South Sevier High School and North Sevier High School in their gym areas, which we're so excited. You go over there and it's beautiful. These new locker rooms just smell so good.
New locker rooms,
fantastic. And we're excited for those two communities. All 12 of our schools now have enhanced secure entry systems, where we have a safe and secure entry in every single building. We've done a lot of work on that over the last several years.
That was a bit of legislation that was a part of that as well, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Over the last few years, we've been getting just small amounts that we've put into that. Some of those projects take significant construction to, have to build a wall here, a wall there, add doors, and we're still working on those. But really now, in every single school, all 12 schools, they're secure. You've got one safe entry where parents and students, after the opening bell, will be buzzed in. It's very secure. At South Sevier High School, we were excited. We resurfaced their tennis courts this year. If you have a chance to drive by, they look fantastic. We're excited for their tennis program, and that's an awesome thing for the Monroe community.
Did you get to paint some pickleball lines on there too?
No, we didn't. We
see how you are.
we try to keep tennis, and yeah, there's a little bit of community controversy surrounding
tennis
that.
is just the lazy man's pickleball, or wait, the other way around. Pickleball is the lazy man's.
We had some awesome recarpeting projects too. Ashman, Pavant, Saline Elementary, and Red Hills Middle School. So 4 of the 12 schools received all new carpeting throughout their entire building. That's a big project, a lot bigger than you think it is. So yeah, we're excited to welcome students back. Things are going great. We're ready and excited. I know it's funny this time of year, parents start saying, take them back. When I run into parents in the stores. And the kids are excited too. There's nothing like the first day of school. I love it. It's an exciting time, and it's good for all of us because it kind of schedules our community and gives us structure. The summer months are a little crazy, and I know parents and families really appreciate the schedule and the structure that school brings.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, you mentioned school security just a second ago. I know that there's been some controversy over a state mandate to have some school resource officers in every school. How has that been coming, and how is the school district working to make that a reality?
We've been working really closely with the Sevier County commissioners and the Sevier County Sheriff, Sheriff Curtis, and we are so fortunate. We've been working in finding our own guardians, they're called, that are employees of ours that will be assisting the school resource officers. But for us, we already had 4 school resource officers in place.
Okay.
And then the county stepped up and we were able to get 5 more. So we're meeting the law. We're covered with school resource officers. Wow. It's such a blessing. I just can't thank the county commissioners and Sheriff Curtis enough for working through that to where we now will have full coverage in every single school. Basically, every school will have their own school resource officer. We will share a little bit from time to time, but we're working to where there's one resource officer in every single school. And then we'll still have the school. There's 2 programs. One's called the School Guardian Program, where employees become licensed to be assistants in that process for security.
Okay.
And then there's the Educator Protector Program, where we have several educators that have been trained. They're not guardians, but they're trained to support school safety efforts as well. So we're looking really good. We're feeling good about it. We still need funding.
Right. That was the controversial part, it was a mandate with no funding.
Yes. But we're looking forward to a lot of continued improvements in the safety area.
Gotcha.
Once again, joined this morning by Sevier School District Superintendent Kay Douglas and Principal of Koosharem Elementary, Wes Torgersen. Unfortunately, we are out of time this morning, but we do appreciate you guys taking the time to join us in studio.
Yes, and I just wanted to give a shout out to all of our teachers and employees. Utah is consistently ranked right at the top. I was just reading a new report from the U.S. News and World Report, and they did a study where they found Utah number 1 in the country overall, and in education ranked number 4. And it's consistently ranked 50 in spending. So return on investment is phenomenal. And it's not just, I want to give a huge shout out to our legislators as well. They do a good job funding us. It's just we have a lot of kids.
Right.
We're ranked 50th in class sizes as well. We have full schools and full classrooms, which is a blessing. But when it comes to return on investment, nobody beats Utah. And I'd say nobody beats Sevier County. we have such a wonderful community, and it's those, if you just look to your left or right to your neighbors, likely one of them is an employee of Sevier School District, and they're wonderful people, and that's what makes up a wonderful system. We are so blessed to have good people living here, and that's why we do so well year in and year out with our students, is good families and good people.
Yeah. If you see a teacher, thank him
Give 'em a
and
hug.
wish him good luck.
Give them a high five, buy them a Diet Coke.
Yeah, they're going to need it.
Yes.
All right, that's going to do it for our Radio Roundup interview for today here on Morning Talk.